we hope that this channel really does either inspire you, whether it's to go sailing. If this is your dream, then go for it. Do it. Life is short. And, you know, Oliver and Lucas, it feels like they were just born last month or 2 months ago, and here they are 9.5 years old. We want to share and will share with you the enjoyable parts of cruising and sailing as we are wrapping up our summer here in the Chesapeake. Matter of fact, in 2 days, we will be departing from Norfolk and we head south to Charleston, and then we will slowly work our way back to Fort Lauderdale for the some more aftermarket stuff and a couple of warranty things. And then we're all off to some warmer climates and crystal clear waters in the Bahamas, and we'll see where we go from there. So air conditioning is one of the things that we did opt from the factory. It's a significant option. So, you know, you do need to think into where it is that you're going to be sailing. Would you need it? Again, air conditioning is not just the cold side of things, but it is also conditioning the air to be warm. So let me just show you where it's at. So if you do opt to get air conditioning from the factory, keep in mind that getting the air conditioning option, obviously part of it is comfort for cold air, hot air, and cost for a significant option. However, keep in mind that if you try to do this aftermarket, there is an absolute ton of work that's going to go into making it happen, and a lot of cutting and opening cabins and walls and ceilings to run all your ductwork and electrical. All right, controlling it from the panel here is simple. This is the panel for the air conditioner. Main difference if you were to compare turning on your heat or air conditioning at home versus turning it on here at the boat, you usually don't have to go to the breaker panel and turn on the power. But one thing that's different is that the air conditioning systems pull in raw seawater. So there are sea strainers that need to be cleaned regularly, and you should check them regularly. I clean ours because we've been running them. So when we do run them, I clean them or at least check them at least once every week. So depending on what kind of water you're in and what kind of raw seawater is being pulled in, for those of you that have swimming pools at home, if you're used to the little strainer baskets that you have for a swimming pool, same concept, same type of thing. It's that those things are collecting any bits of seaweed or anything that is getting pulled in from the raw open seawater, and then that water is used to run through the entire compressor and used to make your hot or cold air. For the washer and dryer, that the cost of it, which I think I'll put it on the screen, it's in the $3,000 range, but that's not just the unit. You know, they do have to run all the electrical for this. They have to run the ductwork, the water lines, and the duct that goes outside for the dryer. So it's not as simple as just buying the washer dryer and shoving it in a cabinet. So again, we're really happy that we opted to get this from the factory. We're really glad that we have it on board. For those of you that might be outside the US, this is probably maybe not that big of a deal, but this is a combo unit, which we love. When we're at home in the US, we have our standalone washer and dryer. The beauty of this is that you put the load in and you get it going and you walk away and it washes all the clothes and then it dries all the clothes. So when this thing is finished and it's turned off, the load, it's completely done. There is no moving it from the washer to the dryer. The one thing to note is that when you do laundry, you have to, or as soon as your laundry is done, and Maki will tell me, or I'll ask her, are you done? Is laundry finished? Because as soon as it's finished, you got to do the reverse. I go outside, I close that venting cap. Critical, critical, critical. You have to close that thing, because when you go sailing, if a wave were to, or ocean spray was to come over, a significant, not rain, so you could have this on while it's raining, and rain can fall, no problem. But a significant rush of seawater coming up over, which, you know, the boat can handle and it's made to roll right off the back, will go up underneath that stainless cap. And if salt water comes down in this thing, I'm pretty sure the washer and dryer is toast. Obviously, it's a little different than doing it at home, but it is a huge bonus and luxury to have a washer and dryer on the boat. So. Alright, come on in. Alright guys, so this is the port forward cabin. So you can see all the way in the front section over there where the green blanket is, that is the port forward forepeak, the child's forepeak. And this is, right now, this is the cabin that Oliver and Lucas use. Lucas sleeps in that forepeak because he likes it up in that space. And then this bed here is where Oliver is. Now, for any other family or couple, this would be a fantastic suite for a family with children, guests aboard, because you could easily fit a mom and dad and two little ones up in the forepeak. The really nice part of it is that each one of these port side cabins are en suite. So let me just show you that once you close your cabin door for privacy.
1 second.
And now we're inside the actual port forward cabin, that you have your own ensuite full bathroom. So if you come over here, so each one of the cabins has obviously their own head. There's a full shower, sink, medicine cabinets right here. There's more storage down below here. And then inside here is the trash container. So they're just really well appointed. There's a little hook up there for a robe or an extra towel up on the, right there on the side. And then these showers, just like all the other ones, are all adjustable. So you can adjust these for whatever height. Oliver and Lucas, like I said, are using this one, so this one's set a little lower. But that's it. And you know, it's really nice that each head has its own little porthole here. So if you're in a quiet anchorage, you can open these up. Each one has its own little hatch. So these all open up. Really nice to get a nice breeze. These things, I don't know if we've shown this before as well, but each one of these hatches is set up with its own screen, or you can switch it and block out all your sunlight, or you can do a mix. So if you wanted just a little sunlight or more, you can set this to whatever adjustable setting that you would want it in. The other thing to note is that in each one of these cabins, take a look at the we may have said this before, but we really like the modern, clean, and bright feel of this boat. The windows, the side porthole windows in these cabins are massive. Lots and lots of light. Great, phenomenal view. It's fantastic when you're underway, and if we're on a longer sail and you're not on your watch, to come down here and prop up a couple pillows and you have this amazing view. Honestly, it's better than a cruise ship, just because you're so low and close to the water that you get this real sense of being connected with the water. And then let me just show you quickly some of the additional storage that's here. So each cabin has its own, there's a tall closet.
Let's see how clean their closet is.
Let's see, not bad. We've been on Oliver and Lucas to keep their closets clean. So shoes, this shelf here needs a little help. We should note that this is usually just a open hanging closet, that Maki did some research and bought these little hangable shelving in itself. Just so you know, this is not from the factory. This is something we put in. But it does come equipped with the bar for hanging clothes in here. And then there's shoe space down at the bottom. And then this bed has 2 drawers. So there's an additional drawer here. Oh, the other thing we didn't mention before, and it's true for all the drawers on the boat, is that these are soft glides. So it's nice when there's no slamming. It closes on its own. these little buttons here, if you can see this. So this is your handle. But before we go underway, we go all around the boat, and these all get pushed in, and that locks the drawer, so you don't have drawers and cabinets flying open. So these are all your locking mechanisms, but when it's unlocked, this becomes your handle. So pretty cool the way they have this set up. There's also additional storage in this cabin underneath here. I think this is used for Oliver and Lucas's school supplies and some games that are in here, but this is actually quite deep and quite large. So again, each owner and family will designate what this kind of space is used for. Right now, because we're doing so much homeschooling and we have games and different things on board, that's what it's used for at the moment. We did a little hanging. We just put this up so that Oliver and Lucas can have a place to put their Fluffy Muffin Company aprons. These are their designated headlamps. Their spin lock vests are always here ready to go. And that for each one of the big hatches, there's the dual-sided, just like you saw in the bathroom or in the head, the screen or the solid white shade that blocks all the sunlight out. Welcome to Port Aft, or as our friend Gear likes to call it, Havana Boy. Captain Richard's room, Grandma and Grandpa's room, distinguished guests. This would be, I guess, our VIP suite on this boat. So again, we're on the port side, 2 cabins, port forward, which is where Oliver and Lucas are. There's a little audience.
Port forward is the main suite.
This bed, and actually this entire cabin space, is for the most part a duplicate of what's on the master side. So again, we still have a drawer underneath here for storage. We have a floor storage, pretty deep locker down here. And then there is a full-length hanging closet. In here, again, there's some room for shoes. At the moment, we have some other things in there, but it's a nice size closet for guests to put their belongings. So, it's a pretty, again, a spacious cabin. Same type of lighting layout with regards to a hatch directly above the bed. You have 3 large windows, tons of light, 2 opening portholes. In the back corner, you have a light switch. So you can, once you're snuggled in bed, you can actually turn off the lights back there. There are power outlets back there and also 2 USB plug-ins. So really well, nicely laid out. There's a little shelf here that runs along the wall, as well as up here by the window. And again, as mentioned previously, each room or each cabin has its own ventilation fan. And then you have the ensuite head. So again, a full shower, sink, toilet, and then all the extra storage as was shown in the other cabins. These are actually waterproof privacy shades. So these, not that you want to sit here and spray this down, but this can get wet, as can the entire head, the entire bathroom. But it's nice to have these. Obviously, if you're in an area where you need some privacy, if you're at anchor or underway, it's pretty cool to be able to have a shower with a view. Again, we're in the port forward cabin, Oliver and for our boat. This is Oliver and Lucas's room. So underneath here is a very, very large storage area. This is the actual Spectra Watermaker, the main intake unit. there is the right below here, if you're able to see this blue cap that you can see, there's a long cylinder. This is the carbon filter. There's the 2 different stages of initial filtration. If you didn't have a Watermaker on board, or somehow you put it someplace else, this is a huge storage space. So you would be able to put, I don't know, a dozen large plastic bins down here. It's really big. The Spectra Watermaker, I've been told, is considered the Cadillac of Watermakers. The main reason being that it is so hands-off, essentially maintenance-free. When this Watermaker makes water, whatever time, you can designate it for a period of time or for X amount of gallons. So you could tell it to make water for 4 hours or 8 hours, or you can say, make 50 gallons of water and then turn off. When that is finished, it sets a 5-day clock. And if you do not make any more water within that period, it automatically reflushes the system to keep everything fresh and clean. There's no bacteria or any kind of crappy growth inside all the filtration systems. That water is taken out of our freshwater tanks. So it'll pull several gallons of water out, run it through the system, and then pump it out overboard. So it's basically constantly keeping itself clean. Just like for the air conditioners and generators, there is a stainless sea strainer, stainless steel sea strainer. So that's the initial stage. So as it pulls seawater in, that sea strainer will catch all the bigger, larger particles. Then the water actually enters into the system, starts going through 5 micron, 20 micron carbon filtration, and it goes through this system here, and all the salt water is removed and pumped out overboard. You definitely need a good working Watermaker on board and all the extra components to make sure that that system can keep going. That's it. Okay. Don't put that in. Okay, so we're still in the starboard hull. This is mirrored on both sides, but I do want to point out one of the really beautiful things that is factored into the build design of the Leopard Catamarans are all these access panels. You see these little cutouts all throughout. I'm going to take out the ones all here on the starboard side, but it's similar or identical in some ways on the port side. So I've pre-loosened these. These are just off of a small little Allen wrench. Very simple to take out. So these things come out, and the beautiful thing is that you have complete access to everything. I mean, this one would give us access to everything underneath the stove top area, gas connections, water lines, drain lines. This is the filtration, water filtration at the galley sink. Very easy to get to. It's a great place. We have extra filtration filters stored down here. So super easy to access this stuff. Let me walk by here. Here is behind, so this is going to be the actual air conditioning system for cold and hot air. You can see the compressor. The full system is actually housed in here. It also, if Maki wants to pan around, so this is the, let me just show you, this is the air intake. This obviously, just like at home, should be vacuumed regularly because it's pulling all the air in. And it gives you very easy access to the back filter side. So again, it's super easy to, if they ever had to work on this or even replace it or anything, it's very easy for them to get to it. All right, let's go on to the next one. That's just all the duct work. Again, very similar to at home or identical to at home as far as heat and AC. And these just get screwed back in, and you don't have to over tighten these at all. Matter of fact, just snug them up. So the other one, there's another 2 behind here. So this gives you access to mainly the duct line. This is the drain line for the refrigeration drawers in the back. Matter of fact, I think this is the back of the unit. So up in the salon, or saloon, for those of you that call it that, this is the back of the refrigerator and freezer drawers up in the galley or in upstairs. And then the one below, and again, this is similar on the other side.
gives you complete access to, and you'll get a sense of how sophisticated these boats are. Look at all this electrical system. So these are all the connectors. There's fuses, inline fuses that are in here. This is the system. I'll talk about this next. This is for the Sauna Hall, which is the Ultrasonic Anti-Fouling system, but we'll go over that in just a second. Again, so this is just massive amounts of access to everything electronic here. If Maki looks back here, you could see, literally, you could see to the other side of the boat. So these pipes travel underneath the bridge deck, right under the salon to the port side, and if you open up the panel on the other side, you could literally wave to each other. So again, super great access to all this stuff. Oh, actually, I think this is the drain line to the drawer refrigeration. So anyway, this is what you have all these this access to all of this stuff. Lots of connectors. Maki keeps pointing to this. I don't know what that is. Then let me just show you real quick. There's also, so you have these, what are, in-wall panels. I'll just put this here for right now. Then you have the ceiling panels that come out. So this comes out, and this gives you complete access. And let me see if I can use this light to shine up there. So this gives you access to everything, not only behind the helm, but that gives you access to everything behind the breaker panel. So everything up in here, directly right here, is the breaker panel with all the switches. Then straight up up above, you could see that large, maybe you could see that large square panel that says Raymarine. That's the MFD, or the multifunction display unit. You have access to the winches, like literally everything. Everything is here. This chain right here that you can see is part of the autopilot system. So there's great access. You can see it all the way up there. See the sprockets? So that's autopilot. So great, easy access to all of the guts of the boat. And this is the same pretty much everywhere. There are removable panels down here. There are lots of removable panels up in the salon.
It looks like a rocket ship.
Yeah, well, this is where, this is a...
Right?
Yeah, it's pretty sophisticated. The amount of stuff that's behind the walls to make everything work. I mean, you get on the boat and it's nice to be able to push a button and it warms up, or it cools down, or it's nice to be able to just turn on lights and fans and all those things. But there's circuitry and just miles and miles and miles of wiring that is all throughout this boat. So that's it. So the next we'll go underground here, or under the floor, just for a quick little peek of the bilges. All right, that's next. Okay, so right now we just want to quickly give you a glimpse of what the bilges are like. So you see all these cutouts in the floors. The little holes are where you would put your fingers to lift the panels out. So here I'll open this larger one, and this is pretty much the same on the other side. You have access to everything on the port side as well. So this is what a bilge looks like. These things will have a variety of different systems in them. The majority of what's down here are what are called through hulls. So a through hull is what it sounds like, literally something that goes through the hull of the boat. Let me just climb down here real quickly. So you could see everything that has a valve. So these guys, these things that have black handles, those are going through the hull to the outside seawater. So in some cases they are going out. This one is from this large white one is from the heads. So when you're out at sea, you can discharge from the toilets. The smaller ones, this one right here, there are quite a few of them throughout the boat. Those are sucking salt water in. So that one in particular is pulling in raw seawater for the toilet and for the deck wash, which is the system that allows us to rinse off the anchor and chain. And these are a variety of different pumps for that. This yellow one is for the shower. So when the water when you're taking a shower and the water is on the floor, that thing is literally sucking the water out. So it's just a variety of things that are in here. You want to keep your bilges clean. You want to keep them organized. Leopard does a really nice job of labeling everything right out of the factory. So it makes it really easy to access things. And the bilges, as you can see, are quite large. And so it's easy for me to get down here and to do some work. This is a bilge that will have a large amount of systems in it. Then you have the bilges that have so these are the bilge pumps. So the one that's down inside that little canyon or crevice is your low water bilge, and this is your high water bilge pump. And so you just, part of our pre-sale process before we push off from a dock or pull anchor is that we quickly take a look, mainly down in this one. I always just take a look at all the bilges just to make sure that they're clean. There isn't anything funny going on. A bilge like this that has a lot of equipment in it, you don't want to put anything down in here. I will show you this one in particular on the Leopard 45 is a rather empty bilge. It only has one. Now, before I open this, let me just say that this needs a little organization. So, yeah. But this is the one that we're gonna work on actually organizing with some rails. You can see this is a huge open area. Let's cover this since it is probably the least organized space on our boat at the moment. Thank you for visiting. We're down in the starboard hull. I still have this panel open with all these electrical connections. One thing I wanted to point out that we did opt for aftermarket is a system called Sauna Hall. It's a ultrasonic anti-fouling system. So a lot of you that are into boating will know what this is. Anti-fouling is the bottom paint that is on the bottom of boats. Some of it is black, some of it is red. You'll see it on all different size boats, both commercial and pleasure vessels. And so the idea is to keep sea growth off of the bottom of the boat. The longer your boat sits stagnant, still in a marina or at anchor, the more things are going to start growing on it. There's lots of little barnacles and basically grass, seaweedy type stuff that will almost like seaweed that grows, attaches itself to the boat. And if you don't clean it off, it turns into a lovely green shag carpet, which slows the boat down drastically, increases fuel costs. It's not good. So essentially, what's the old adage of moss doesn't grow on a rolling stone? Same thing. As long as a boat is moving, the more a boat moves, the less growth you have on it. Now, the bottom paint is something that needs to be repainted in what's called a bottom job. And you would normally do it roughly once every year, depending on the waters that you're in. Warmer waters, you'll have more growth. Colder waters, you won't. And again, if your boat's moving all the time or moving more often than sitting still, then you'll have less growth, and you'll be able to extend the periods between when the hull has to be cleaned. Sometimes that happens during a haul out when you take the boat out. Most of the time, you'll have a diver go down and they'll scrub the bottom of your boat, or you as the owner, if you're in waters that are clear enough and warm enough and you want to go do it, you could certainly do it yourself. Now, the Sonihull is a ultrasonic anti-fouling system. Essentially, it's an electronic system that aids in the ability for the boat to repel growth. So the Sauna Hall system does that. It does extend maybe to once every roughly 2 months. It also extends the life of your bottom paint, because the more that you actually rub on the paint, scraping it, cleaning it, you're taking some of that off, which shortens the life of that, which accelerates the need to haul out and have a bottom job done. On our boat, that's I believe roughly about a $4,000 cost for the haul out, the work to be done to paint it and put it back in the water. So if there's a way to extend that, we would certainly do that. So We looked at Sauna Hall. It will extend our bottom paint to about 1.5 years, maybe, depending again on waters and how much movement, maybe 2 years, but probably more on the 1.5 year side of it. It also talks about, Sauna Hall says that it will save you about 20% in fuel costs, again, because you don't have the growth on the bottom of the hulls. So it really does aid in that. So we bought the system, again, because each system comes with its own controlling unit, which Maki will film here in just a second. The controlling unit, and then there are two transducers. I think they're called transducers or transponders. Transducers. Anyway, two of these gadgets that get mounted to the bottom of the hull, the bottom of the bilge here, and that sends out a signal that helps repel. I'll tell you in a second how that works more. But so each Sauna Hall system you buy comes with the controlling unit and two of those transponder units. And so we needed two systems, again, because we have two hulls. So there's one in the forward section and one in the back on starboard, and same on the port side. We can show you, Just Catamarans installed it for us. I'm going to turn this on. So right here, it says, you see Sauna Hall, this is the actual breaker. There it says Sauna Hall right here. So that's the breaker for it. And then if Maki looks in here, back on that wall, you'll see the box that says Sauna Hall. If you can get all the way around there. So you'll see that the system says it's on, it's active. And so that is doing its thing. The beauty of the Sauna Hall system is that when it's working, you don't hear it at all. That is right there. You'll see that mounted on the floor. Oh, it does. It says transducer. Okay, so you see the Sauna Hall transducer, and that you can hear it. Here, let me give you the microphone. Hold on, I'll put this down here. I don't know if this is going to pick it up. It's very faint, and when the cover is on the bilge. So one of the our favorite features of this boat, and what really sold us, is this Fwd Cockpit. When we went to all the boat shows, we looked at it, pretty much all the catamaran brands, and we like this Fwd Cockpit for a variety of reasons. One, obviously, safety is always our #1 concern, and we didn't want either ourselves as adults working our way around the outer decks while we're underway, and certainly not our children. So when we are in calm enough seas and it warrants that it's safe to open this door to even just to transit through, we always come through here. We don't walk the outer decks. This is a watertight, almost like a submarine door. It is completely watertight. We've been in some rough seas, and we have had waves splash over and come into this lower pit area. But there are two huge scuppers down here that drain extremely fast. So that has never been an issue for us or a concern. We love that there's a great seating area, great for morning or afternoon. Coffee's actually here in the Chesapeake. The afternoon sun sets behind us, and it's fantastic to be able to hang out here. There's a nice little table that comes up here. So again, you could do a little morning coffee. All right, so one of the, I know there's a lot of concerns out there when it comes to these Fwd cockpits, or the Fwd cockpit specifically, maybe on the Leopards, of what happens if a large wave comes crashing in here. Could the water leak? And the answer is no. As you can see, there are 3 large handles and this massive rubber seal that goes around here. This is a completely watertight door. I have been on one of the Leopard 45s where we took a large amount of water, almost up to this seating area, so whatever this is, 1.5 feet or 2 feet deep, and the water drained out in a matter of 15-20 seconds. It's amazing. It just pours down. If we could show you the underside of this, there are 2 very large scuppers, basically kind of like drainage channels where the water flows out. All around this floor area, everything here is where water flows down. So literally 360 degrees around. You could call it maybe like a water gutter channel. it runs completely around the entire forward cockpit. So any water that comes in here is draining from every single inch of this floor. Water flows down and out those scuppers. So it drains very fast, and this never gets water. Now, we have been in rougher seas, not where this is filled with water or even come close, but we have had many times there's going to be ocean spray that is splattered all over the windows, and literally not a drop of water has come in through this front door, and anything that has come into this floor area has drained within seconds. So to us, there's no safety issues. Now, we're never going to certainly put ourselves knowingly into horrific, weather conditions, but so I'll run through them. There, it's not well, it's some things, but so. In the back cockpit here, we're going to have an exterior outlet put in. I find that for a variety of things, it'd be nice if you're sitting here with a laptop, or you just need power. For a lot of times, I have I need the electrical extension cord to be able to be plugged in if I need to use some power tools, if I'm even just waxing and buffing, or for anything. We're going to put a freshwater wash back here, a quick connect, so that whether we caught not so much fresh water for when we catch fish, but to rinse off the decks and to keep things clean back here. It'd be nice. We always find ourselves trying to get a hose. Into this area, there's this little handle here, which is great. However, when we are in marinas or at fuel docks, we always find ourselves kind of stepping on this to get off the boat, and obviously that is dangerous because we're just asking for ourselves to slip off of this. So quite a few of the owners on the Leopard boats have had there's a stainless steel support that goes here with a little teak step, which makes it a lot easier and a lot safer to get on and off the boat. So as I go through here, Maki's going to put a listing. A lot of people have talked about, what do you do for mosquitoes or flies especially. And we found, and thank you to William and Juanita, our friends on a Leopard 48, shared this with us. And these are these great magnetic screens. Watch, you just go through and they completely close on their own.
Yeah.
It's not the end all, but for right now, to be honest, they work really well. The entire time that we've had the boat, we have not even turned this guy on. As you can see, it's being used for storage. So if anybody's watching and they want to buy a brand new Eno stove, let us know. We'll give you a great price. A price you cannot beat. But anyway, so we're going to take this out. What we're going to put in its place is another large drawer like this.